As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden rays upon the land, the world began to merge into a deep, soothing indigo cloak of twilight. Cleopatra sat in her study, a sanctuary of elegance, where the air thickened with the warm perfume of freshly unrolled papyrus and the lingering essence of incense. The fragrant smoke curled lazily through the air, carrying with it the whispers of countless secrets, both shared and kept. Here, amidst the chaos of the external world, she sought refuge from the intricate dance of politics that had defined her day. From her ornate throne, she could almost hear the echoes of Rome, the distant murmur of negotiations and strategies swirling in her mind, like the soft shadows playing against the intricately carved windows. The scribe sat at her feet, tirelessly scratching away with his reed pen, capturing the ebb and flow of each moment as if they were threads of fine silk woven into the tapestry of history. Outside, the night began to awaken, the bustling streets of Alexandria humming with the life of its citizens, yet within these four walls, time felt suspended. Cleopatra lifted her gaze, admiring the twilight sky, a breathtaking canvas of purple and blue. Her thoughts spiraled into the endless corridors of power that twined through her consciousness. There were enemies lurking just beyond her gaze, the delicate alliances held together by the most fragile of threads, and the very future of Egypt weighed heavily on her heart. Each worry felt like a mantle, pressing upon her brow and gnawing at her spirit like a restless tide. Yet she knew that even a queen must seek a sanctuary within, a refuge to restore her strength. This awareness, her own mind echoed back at her, had grown faint under the relentless pressures of the day. Sighing softly, she waved her hand, light and graceful, summoning her loyal servants, their duty fulfilled. She observed as they withdrew, the soft rustle of their robes fading like the last rays of sunlight, leaving her in an enveloping silence that felt as delicate as the bloom of a flower. The door clicked shut behind them, sealing her within a cocoon of serenity. In an instant, the study transformed from a realm filled with obligations and expectations into a sanctuary of solitude and tranquility. The enveloping quiet whispered promises to her weary spirit, inviting her to settle into this sacred space. Cleopatra closed her eyes for a moment, exhaling slowly, allowing the chaos of the day to dissolve away, like wisps of incense smoke escaping into the air. Rising from her intricately carved throne, adorned with symbols of her power, she drifted toward the balcony that overlooked the sprawling city, a kingdom once again at peace, if only for a brief moment. Cleopatra felt the cool evening breeze against her skin, a gentle kiss upon the surface of her worries, and each breath she took filled her lungs with the scent of jasmine from the gardens below. These were the small gifts of nature that reminded her of life's beauty amid the burdens of leadership. The harmonious symphony of night began to whisper around her, distant drums marking the rituals of celebration and laughter rising like notes upon the cool air. As the sun completed its descent and darkness enveloped the land, Cleopatra sunk deeper into this moment, her heart swelling with a sense of connection to her people. Each twinkling star that appeared in the darkening sky could have held a wish from the souls beneath, hopes for health, prosperity, and the well-being of their queen. With a delicate sigh, she returned to the warmth of her chamber, her sanctuary from the world. The soft fragrances of freshly crushed herbs and blossoming roses enveloped her like a tender embrace, soothing her senses as she stepped further into her domain. Here, she began to peel back the layers of the day. The heaviness that had weighed upon her heart started to lift as she loosened the delicate gold clasps of her ornate jewelry, feeling their weight slip away. The world outside might hold its worries, shrouded beneath layers of urgency, but within the walls of this sanctuary, tranquility began to take root, cradling her in a gentle embrace. And so, beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, a queen began to weave her own tapestry of safety and serenity, unburdening herself, piece by piece. As the golden rays of the sun slipped below the horizon, cloaking the sky in a deep indigo, Cleopatra stood from her throne, adorned in layers of gold and lapis lazuli that caught the last light. The intricate designs of her garments mirrored the complexity of her reign, as she felt the weight of the world settle heavily upon her shoulders. The whispers of politics murmured in her mind like echoes from a distant battlefield, persistently reminding her of the threats lurking beyond her borders. With a deliberate grace, she drifted towards the door leading to her private bathing chamber, a sanctuary she had come to cherish amidst the chaos of her responsibilities. Upon entering the chamber, the air enveloped her in a warm embrace, infused with the sweet, comforting scent of honey and the creamy aroma of whole milk that awaited her, a luxurious blend offering promise and solace. The cool marble floor grounded her, a tactile reminder of her royal lineage and achievements, as she approached the elegantly crafted basin, its polished edge smooth beneath her fingertips. In that moment, she paused to gather her thoughts, reflecting on the weight of her duties and the precious need for respite. The water in the basin sparkled in the dim light, beckoning her to surrender to its embrace. With a deep, calming breath, she stepped into the bath, the silky warmth swirling around her, a tender caress against her skin. Lapping softly against the marble, the gentle sounds of the milk began to wash away the fragments of anxiety that had clung to her throughout the day. As she closed her eyes, she leaned back, allowing herself to tune in to the simple joy and peace that the moment offered. With each ripple, she felt lighter, momentarily liberated from the burdens of her crown. Like a dance, the rose petals scattered across the surface drifted gracefully around her, merging with the soothing warmth as the sweet scent of the milk enveloped her senses. Cleopatra surrendered to this moment, letting go of the stresses that had woven themselves into the very fabric of her being. Time seemed to stretch as the creamy fluid embraced her like a long-lost friend, erasing the clamor of swords and schemes, and inviting her into a state of tranquil introspection. Thoughts of enemies and sparse alliances faded into the steam swirling from the bath, her worries pooling gently away like droplets cascading off her hair, melding with the waters, transforming into memories of the day that felt distant and less significant. With resolve built anew in the sacred confines of her bathing chamber, Cleopatra emerged, droplets cascading from her form as she stepped gingerly from the bath. An attendant stood nearby, ready with woven towels, but she dismissed the offer, savoring instead the lingering warmth still clinging to her skin. As the tensions of the day melted away, she approached her dressing table, an elaborate spread of scented oils displayed before her like vibrant colors on a painter's palette, awaiting her delicate touch. Taking her time, she poured jasmine oil into her palms, the floral essence rising to greet her as she gently warmed it between her fingers. The act soothed her, quelling the last remnants of the day's troubles as she stepped closer to the mirror. An intricate reflection stared back, the mosaic of her beauty revealing the fierce spirit that was her backbone, a source of unwavering strength. Deliberately, Cleopatra began to anoint her skin, sweeping the oil across her arms and collarbone, each stroke like a brush of serenity, expertly applying a soothing balm to her restless heart. The intoxicating fragrance lingered, wrapping around her like a tender promise, allowing the chaos outside to dissolve into a mere whisper. Completing her ritual, Cleopatra felt her spirit lift, the multitude of responsibilities easing as clarity began to distill in her mind. She made her way to the balcony, silken sheets of night cascading over her as she stepped outside, fully immersed in the serenade of night. The gentle chirping of insects harmonized with the soft rustling of leaves, serenading the stillness of the garden below, where the moon cast delicate shadows over flowering blooms. The sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine infused the air, mingling seamlessly with the remnants of her oils. Cleopatra took a moment to breathe deeply, letting the fragrant tapestry wrap around her, as the gentle sounds of the whispering fountain nearby beckoned for her attention. Closing her eyes once more, she inhaled the cool night air, embracing the peace it offered, a moment of clarity amidst the echoes of her rule. With thoughts quieting, Cleopatra reflected on her crown, not merely a symbol of power, but one of honor, strength, and connection to her people. Here, beneath the stars, she embraced the luxury of simply being Cleopatra, a woman facing the universe from her sacred abode. The moonlight danced in her hair, pooling softly across her skin, while the rhythmic hum of Alexandria grew palpable but distant. Surrendering to this soft embrace, she let her shoulders drop, releasing each burden, unveiling the grace of her true self. As Cleopatra cherished this fleeting moment, she opened her heart wide to the life that flowed around her, the jasmine-sweet air filling her lungs. The warmth from the oils encircled her, mixing into the quiet of the night where time itself felt suspended. With the city at peace, she felt the echoes of her responsibilities recede, as if the very night soothed the pulse of her worries. Wrapping herself in warmth, Cleopatra returned to her private chambers, feeling the coolness of the marble beneath her feet once more, a refreshing contrast to the tender warmth of the bath. The lavish linen sheets of her bed awaited her, exuding a cool caress that welcomed her like a much-anticipated embrace. Each color and texture within the chamber, a fusion storytelling the legacies of her ancestors and the vibrant aspirations she held dear, formed a cocoon of comfort. Nestling deeper into the sheets, Cleopatra adjusted her position, the soft fabric cradling her, as if the very essence of the Nile surged within it. She let her body sink into the softness, closing her eyes to the world outside, while allowing the hidden fears of the day to ebb away. The silent sounds of the night enveloped her like a soft, nurturing blanket, whispering only the sound of her deepening breath as she laid there, resting. As her heartbeat slowed and the fabric swaddled her like a tender melody, Cleopatra delved into a serene realm, beyond her rule and responsibilities. Her mind wandered to past glories, bright visions of gardens awash in the laughter of children, and the sweet murmur of her people, each a reminder of the life she governed. She ruled not just with the force of a queen, but with compassion, each moment woven into the fabric of her identity. As the night drew deeper, Cleopatra surrendered fully, hearing the hushed whispers of the universe, carrying secrets of harmony and balance. Shadows danced across her chamber walls, caressed by the gentle moonlight, illuminating tears of passionate reflection often kept hidden. With every heartbeat, tranquility deepened, weaving a promise of resilience and calm within her. In this sacred stillness, Cleopatra found not just repose, but a serene rebellion against the tumult of life. It offered her power, the power to pause and reflect in the midst of chaos. As sleep hovered close, and the tendrils of night caressed her, she surrendered to its embrace, allowing her dreams to weave and spin, infusing her spirit with tranquility. The stars outside twinkled in every twirl and dance of her thoughts, mapping out the universe of infinite possibility. In her heart, Cleopatra embraced the softness of solace, expelling the burdens of her crown. Entwined in sheets infused with fragrant oils and the sweetness of jasmine, she released all semblance of the queen, and found herself cradled by the embrace of the night, where dreams awaited, alive with the promise of renewal and wisdom. As the twilight descended upon Alexandria, Cleopatra found herself enveloped in a world that seemed to melt away the burdens of her crown. The sun's last rays flickered through the intricately carved windows of her private bathing chamber, bathing the space in a soft amber glow that danced across the marble surfaces. The air was thick with the warm perfume of papyrus and the lingering essence of sweet incense, a comforting embrace that promised solace from the trials of her day. Clad in nothing but the remnants of her day, she took a moment to honor the sanctuary of her chamber, a haven where politics and power would fade, allowing Cleopatra. She felt the cool marble beneath her feet as she drifted towards the vast basin filled with warm, milky water infused with soothing scents. Each step was a footprint in the shifting sands of time, drawing her closer to the tranquility she sought. With a deep breath that filled her lungs with the sweet amalgamation of honey and milk, Cleopatra stepped into the bath, the silky warmth enveloping her like a tender embrace. The creamy water flowed around her, buoying her weight like a cloud, at once liberating and soothing. As she submerged herself slightly, she surrendered to the moment. The swirling rose petals that danced on the surface mirrored the tumult of her thoughts, but promised an escape. In this rich and fragrant liquid, time dissolved. Each second stretched into an eternity, a gentle caress wrapping around her spirit, like the embrace of a long-lost friend. Cleopatra cleared her mind, focusing on the soft lapping sounds of the water against the marble, a reminder that life continued beyond the palace walls. She thought of her people, the weight of her responsibilities resting heavy upon her heart, a crown forged in sacrifice. As the fragrant steam enveloped her, Cleopatra allowed her worries to evaporate into the air, drifting away like the soft petals cascading around her. With each emergence from beneath the water, droplets cascaded from her hair, pooling at the base of the bath, a tangible representation of the burdens she sought to release. She let the fluid ambiance wash away the memories of Rome's cunning whispers, each drop of worry surrendered to the depths of the cleansing waters. In that moment, Cleopatra was no longer merely a monarch. She was a woman reborn within the sanctuary of her bath, a space both freeing and reverent. The room hummed with a quiet serenity, a cocoon that wrapped itself around her with every gentle ripple, a landscape for her dreams to flourish. She closed her eyes, long lashes fanning against her cheeks as she leaned back, feeling the soothing caress of the milk embrace her skin. The stillness only enhanced her resolve, a whispered reminder that she held the strength within her to navigate the storms of her realm. As she emerged once more, Cleopatra felt renewed, as if each drop that fell from her was a whisper of the life she was meant to lead. A direct lineage of the queens before her, a tapestry woven with power and grace. Her spirit soared in this moment of freedom, and she pondered her future, the echoes of her heart urging her to rise stronger than before, buckling under the weight of what it meant to embrace her roles both as a queen and a woman. The journey of relaxation reached its zenith, and Cleopatra could feel the warmth of the water weighing her down like a protective cloak. Each breath drew in tranquility, while each exhale carried away the remnants of the day that had lingered like shadows. Rising slowly from the basin, she felt transformed. The burdens of her rule were now mere whispers, reduced to memories by the soothing waters. Cleopatra stepped out of the bath. The coolness of the marble contrasted with the warmth still clinging to her skin, an exquisite balance of sensation that was both grounding and ethereal. The soft fabric of the waiting towels brushed against her as servants discreetly provided her with warmth, yet she chose to embrace the air, each moment precious, an affirmation of her existence beyond the crown she wore. A palpable sense of calm enveloped her as she transitioned to her vanity, a sacred space adorned with scented oils like treasures waiting for her touch. She picked up the jasmine oil, its tranquil fragrance swirling around her, calming the remnants of her racing heart. Each drop was a declaration of her will, each stroke against her skin an embrace of both vulnerability and strength. As she anointed her arms and collarbone, the luxurious oil absorbed into her skin, filling her spirit with a divine aroma that mingled with the echoes of her bathing ritual. Cleopatra danced in front of the mirror, a mosaic of reflections, her beauty resonating with the flowered imagery of her life, the tumultuous journey from girl to queen, layered with experiences that shaped her soul. With her task concluded, she felt lighter, the weight of her responsibilities transforming from a burden to a mantle of honor. The fragrance of jasmine and myrrh enveloped her, creating a protective sphere that transcended the confines of her chamber. She was ready to step onto the balcony, to embrace the gentle nighttime symphony of the palace gardens, a realm where the stars beckoned her to dream, away from the pressing demands of her crown. Stepping outside, her senses ignited, cool breezes intertwined with the warm glow of the moonlight around her. The air was laced with the aroma of night-blooming jasmine, an intoxicating blend that filled her lungs with the memory of lingering kisses and soft caresses. The gentle trill of cicadas serenaded her, carrying her spirit above the pressing struggles of the world below. Here, amidst the serenity of the night, Cleopatra stood tall, feeling the powerful energy of Alexandria coursing through her veins. The palace garden stretched out below, a canvas painted with silvery shadows that whispered stories of ancient nights. She closed her eyes, inhaling deeply the sweet and heady fragrance that filled the air, a tribute to her beloved city that breathed life into her reign. Moments passed in silence as she drifted between the realms of her responsibilities and her dreams, allowing the universe to remind her of her purpose. Cleopatra's heart swelled with gratitude, as the night wrapped around her like a comforting cloak, imbuing her with newfound resolve, the ability to rise anew each dawn, a warrior for her kingdom. And as her senses attuned to the ambient sounds of the garden, the gentle flow of a nearby fountain beckoned her, coaxing serenity to wash over her once more. Cleopatra listened, her mind unraveling the fabric of her day as she surrendered to the whispers of the night. Here, in that sacred moment, she let go, inviting peace to hold her tightly as she prepared to dream of a future paved with honor, light, and the unshakable strength that lay within her. As the final notes of the evening chorus faded into a tranquil whisper, Cleopatra emerged from the embrace of her bath, her skin glistening with droplets that caught the dim light like a myriad of tiny stars. The warm milk, enriched with the essence of honey, relinquished its hold on her body, slipping away as softly as unspoken thoughts. The scent of jasmine lingered in the air, weaving around her like an invisible shawl, embodying the serenity she sought within her lavish private chambers. Turning her back to the water, Cleopatra felt the chill of the air touch her damp skin, an inviting contrast to the warmth that still clung to her. An attendant stood at the ready with plush, woven towels, but Cleopatra chose to bask in the lingering warmth, letting it wrap around her like a comforter, imprinting each moment into her memory. She allowed herself a soft sigh, releasing the tensions of the day, noting how the weight of her responsibilities felt momentarily suspended in the solace of her sanctuary. Before her lay a tempting array of scented oils, arranged artfully on a low table, each delicate vial a promise of tranquility waiting for her gentle touch. Selecting a bottle of jasmine, Cleopatra poured its contents into her palm, watching as the golden liquid shimmered in the soft light. Her fingers warmed the oil, releasing its floral essence into the air, an intoxicating aroma blooming before her, infusing the atmosphere with soft elegance. As she approached the mirror, Cleopatra was met with her own reflection, a mosaic of beauty and power intertwined. The soft glow of the moonlight caressed her features, illuminating the gentle curve of her cheek and the quiet determination etched into her brow. It was a fleeting moment of vulnerability amidst the aura of strength she projected when engaging with the world outside. Deliberately, she began the ritual of anointing her skin, starting with her arms. Each movement was meticulous, echoing her inner calm and the graceful flow of fragrant oil pooling into her skin. Cleopatra noted how the oil absorbed, cleansing her spirit as well as her body, each stroke transforming tension into tranquility. She continued, letting the warmth seep into her collarbone, where woes and worries had found their resting place. Each time she glided her fingers over her skin, it was as if she were brushing away the unease of leadership, the distant murmurings of Rome, and the trembling alliances that threatened her reign. The rich combination of jasmine and myrrh oils enveloped her, forging a bond between her and the essence around her, allowing her to sink deeper into the present moment. As she anointed herself, the rich scent swirled in the air, capturing the richness of the evening, and she felt the tumult of her crown dissolve into the background, leaving a singular focus. Cleopatra surrendered to the experience, allowing herself the simple luxury of self-care, the calm becoming a gentle reminder of her own fortitude amidst the chaos she commanded daily. In that fleeting moment, time stood still, as the divine fabric of her life intertwined with what was momentarily hers alone, anointing, breathing, and being present. The quiet of her chambers amplified each sensation, from the delicate sound of the oil cascading from her palm to the soft exhale of her breath. Finally, with each layer of oil absorbed into her skin, she felt the world around her fade completely. The bustling streets of Alexandria, the distant calls of her advisors, and the shadows of enemies began to dissipate, leaving her in a sacred space that belonged solely to Cleopatra, the queen, the woman, and the essence of peace that she could nurture within herself. With resolve nurtured anew and her aura radiant with warmth, she allowed herself to simply be in this moment, an alchemy of relaxation and strength overflowing from the very core of her being. For amidst the gilded facades and the heavy crown she bore, she found solace in the knowledge that moments of tranquility were not just luxuries, but vital threads in the tapestry of her reign. As the moon rose high in the indigo sky, bathing Cleopatra's garden in a silvery glow, she felt an unexpected lightness settle over her. The burdens that weighed heavily on her shoulders began to dissipate like the light morning mist under the warmth of the sun. Each step she took towards the balcony filled her with grace, a sense of freedom fluttering softly around her like the night breeze. The sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine lingered in the air, wrapping her in a fragrant embrace that reminded her of nature's soothing presence. Once outside, Cleopatra was serenaded by the gentle chirping of insects, their soft melodies resonating in the stillness of the night. The palace garden, resplendent with blossoming flowers and intricate paths, shimmered under the moonlight, casting delicate shadows that played upon the ground like secrets shared in whispers. This tranquil haven was her sanctuary, where the vibrant life of Alexandria drifted into the background, leaving only the enchanting beauty of the night. Her gaze wandered to the nearby fountain, its soothing water cascading gracefully, inviting her to pause and listen. She closed her eyes and inhaled deeply, the coolness of the night air filling her lungs with a refreshing clarity. In this moment of stillness, Cleopatra felt the weight of her responsibilities fade further away. She was just a woman reveling in the tranquility of the world around her. The combination of jasmine and the fragrant oils still clinging to her skin created a tapestry of scent that wafted around her, intertwining with the whispers of nature. With each soft breath, she exhaled the remaining anxieties from the day, allowing her spirit to breathe freely, to dance amidst the stars twinkling above. Here, at the edge of the garden, Cleopatra discovered a profound sense of peace, a clarity that enveloped her like a gentle cocoon, allowing her to reflect on the strength it took to wear a crown. For in this quiet serenity, her mind faded into a soothing realm where thoughts of Rome and the demands of her position became but faint echoes, permitting her to remember who she was beyond the mantle of power, a woman seeking solace in the embrace of the night, one with the pulse of the universe. Each breath drawn in the fragrant air, each whisper of the leaves, felt like a reminder that she was not alone in her solitude. The world around her was alive, breathing rhythmically with her, echoing the deep resonance of life itself. Cleopatra raised her arms slightly, feeling the ethereal night wash over her, as if the moon itself reached out to bless her with a quiet strength to face whatever tomorrow might bring. The delicate interplay of sounds, the gentle gurgle of the fountain, the rustling of leaves, and the distant hum of Alexandria, harmonized beautifully, forming a soft symphony that filled the air with loving whispers. As she stood by the balcony, Cleopatra embraced the stillness, tethering her thoughts to the serenity of her surroundings, ready to confront the burdens of her kingdom after this moment of rejuvenation. This was her ritual, a sacred communion with the universe, where she could gather the threads of her spirit and weave them back together, stronger and more resilient. With a final deep breath, Cleopatra opened her eyes to the twinkling stars above, her heart swelling with gratitude for these precious moments of reflection. In this gentle cocoon of peace, she prepared herself to step back into her role, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. The softness of the night remained within her, a reminder of the strength found in stillness as she returned to her sanctuary, ready to face the dawn anew. As the days stretched into an unbroken stream of responsibility and expectation, I found solace in the quiet whisper of the night that enveloped me like a fragrant shroud. Emerging from the ambient glow of my bath chamber, I stepped into the moonlit embrace of the balcony, where the cool night air brushed against my skin, erasing the remnants of the day's heat. My crown, once a burden fit for a queen, became a weightless ornament in this moment of calm, a mere reflection of my heritage and honor. The world outside faded like a distant echo, reminding me that I could transcend the limits of my position and simply be Cleopatra, a woman at peace beneath a star-filled sky. The moonlight bathed me in its ethereal glow, casting playful shadows that danced around the contours of my body. I felt the delicate interplay of light upon my skin, each glimmer whispering secrets of strength and grace. It was as if the stars themselves were my confidants, aligning with my heart and inviting me to release the burdens that weighed heavily on my shoulders. I inhaled deeply, filling my lungs with the nectarous scent of jasmine that lingered in the warm night air, a fragrant reminder of the sweet life I cultivated within the intricate walls of Royal Alexandria. As I closed my eyes, the soothing aroma wove through the fabric of my very being, grounding me and allowing gratitude to wash over me like the gentle waves of the Nile. With every breath, I felt myself cast aside the day's chaos, allowing the tranquility of the moment to seep deep into my bones. Beyond the walls of my chamber, Alexandria pulsed with life, its heart beating steadily in harmony with mine. But in this tranquil haven, it all felt far away, like whispers carried off by the gentle breeze, granting me the freedom to reflect. I embraced the stillness, allowing the peace that enveloped me to infuse my thoughts with clarity. In this sanctuary, the heaviness of my crown transformed into a crown of stars, reminding me of the infinite possibilities that lay before me. For once, I was not merely a queen burdened with the weight of a kingdom's fate, I was Cleopatra, unshackled and ready to dream. The memories of battles fought and alliances forged danced at the periphery of my thoughts, but didn't intrude upon my moment of quiet introspection. The softness of the night urged me to release them, each memory a feather guiding me deeper into my own tranquility. In this almost sacred moment, I found the rejuvenating power of solitude, an ancient wisdom that beckoned me to honor my spirit and the journey within. It required courage to peel back the layers of obligation and allow myself to be vulnerable. But here, surrounded by the fragrance of night-blooming blossoms, I welcomed that vulnerability, nurturing the delicate balance between strength and softness. As I stood there, gazing across the cityscape, bathed in silver light, I knew that the whirls of my responsibilities would not cease to exist. However, in this moment, as Cleopatra, free from the expectations and praise, I could flow with the tranquility of the universe, trusting that I could return rejuvenated to my rightful place. It was within this sanctuary of night that I rediscovered the tranquil warrior within me. Lace-like shadows adorned the walls, breathing life into the intimate corners of my domain, ever inviting and soothing. With every flicker of moonlight, I felt myself cradled by the hopes and dreams I carried, lightened by the gentle acceptance of my identity. Time slipped away as I reveled in the quietude of my surroundings. I began to feel a profound connection to the very fabric of existence, imagining how my soul intertwined with the stars above, the indelible thread of my womanhood and leadership weaving into the cosmos. This realization filled me with immense hope, an embraced reminder that my spirit, though often tested, could always find its way back to tranquility. Drawing upon this deep sense of peace, I promised myself that I would carry this moment into my waking hours, allowing the calm that nourished me this night to guide my thoughts and actions. For, after all, it was not merely a struggle for power that defined me, but a journey of self-discovery embraced under the vast expanse of the shimmering night. As Cleopatra wandered within this serene tapestry of shadows and soft scents, she found solace in the knowledge that she was, and always would be, the queen of her own heart. As I stepped back into my sanctuary, the coolness beneath my feet contrasted refreshingly with the warmth that clung to my skin from the bathing chamber. Each step was almost silent, reverberating only in the sanctuary of my thoughts. The lavish linen sheets beckoned to me, exuding their coolness like a loving embrace, wrapping around me with gentle certainty. I looked around my bedchamber, where the decor formed a tapestry of colors and textures that whispered stories of both my ancestors and my aspirations as a queen. With each gentle sway of my body, I nestled deeper into the sheets, allowing the comforting fabric to cradle me like the gentle waves of the Nile lapping against its banks. A sigh escaped my lips as I adjusted my position, lying flat on my back, trying to let go of the weight of the day. The air was imbued with the alchemical blend of scents from the oils I had just anointed myself with, as well as the fragrant blooms surrounding me, wrapping around my senses in a soft, enchanting embrace. As I settled deeper into the mattress, I began to silence the bustle of Alexandria beyond my window. The sounds of the city, which had earlier felt so urgent and pressing, faded further away. They surrendered to the soothing lull of the moonlit tranquility that enveloped me. I closed my eyes, giving myself the sanctuary of introspection. Guiding my thoughts through the labyrinth of the day, I observed the remnants of each worry, a cacophony of responsibilities crowding my mind. The whispers of love, triumph, and sacrifice floated through my consciousness, teasing the corners of my heart with their persistent echo. Here in this moment, a queen in her chamber, a woman cast in the light of a dazzling moon, I could finally breathe. I took a deep breath, feeling the cool linen embrace my body, a comforting reminder of what it meant to be both Cleopatra, the ruler, and Cleopatra, the woman. In these quiet moments I found my strength, cradled by the softness, like a precious gem nestled in its setting. With every heartbeat, I sensed the fertility of dreams unfurling within me, waiting for night's embrace to guide them into vivid and unfettered visions. My spirit, tethered to the weight of authority and responsibility throughout each day, began to flutter and soar amidst this cocoon of stillness. I sought clarity in the arc of the night, allowing my essence to reach for the stars far beyond the bounds of my regal duties. In this sacred space, I was once again reminded of my adventures, my victories and losses, tied intricately together in the fabric of my reign. And so, as I reflected on my life, I saw not just challenges and power, but the beauty of connection and the warmth of the love that threaded through the story I was creating. Time seemed to dissolve around me, and reality fell away like the remnants of a faded memory. It was just Cleopatra now, the armor of authority diminished to reveal a heart open and free. I allowed my soul to float above the concerns of mortality that sometimes weighed heavy on my mind. Here, I embraced my dreams, the desires for tomorrow, the courage to shape my legacy, while remaining profoundly aware of who I was beneath the crown. As the soothing flow of night wrapped tighter around me like a tender shroud, my heart found its rhythm, a gentle pulse intertwining with the whispers of the night, the cool air inviting my spirit to dance among the stars themselves. I dared to imagine a world beyond the confines of politics, a world where my essence could roam unhindered by burdens. In these sacred moments, I understood that my reign would echo through the ages, but so too would the stillness I cultivated within. I breathed deeply once more, bringing the tranquility of my sanctuary into every corner of my being. The resonance of peace spread through me like the light of dawn creeping across the horizon. I turned my focus inward, drawing strength from the recollection of all that I had experienced, every heartbeat, every challenge, every blossom of hope. In the stillness, I surrendered to the soft embrace of sleep, allowing my worries to drift away like petals on the Nile. I basked in the sweet fusion of scents that lingered in the air, easing me into the night. With a heart at peace and a soul ready to embrace the cascading dreams of my deepest desires, I welcomed slumber. The universe held my dreams tenderly, weaving the tales of Cleopatra with the eternal threads of time. I closed the final doors to the day behind me, content to drift into realms where I was not merely a queen, but a luminous spirit dancing in harmony with the universe, ready to embrace whatever dawn might bring. Her breath deepened, rising and falling like the tides, as she found a steady rhythm that matched the heartbeat of the world beyond her window. Each inhale drew in calmness, while each exhale carried away residual anxiety, as if the universe itself sighed along with her. In this cocoon of warmth, Cleopatra surrendered to the silken sheets that cradled her weary form, each moment becoming a precious gem, an oasis of tranquility in the vast expanse of her responsibilities. Cleopatra's mind drifted, her imagination flitting like a butterfly around distant shores, lost in the dreams of her past as well as the hopes for her future. She envisioned the lush gardens of Alexandria, the laughter of children playing among the papyrus groves, and the soft murmur of her people, a reminder of the life she governed. For she ruled not only with power, but with compassion, and every one of her subjects held a special place in her heart. As the night deepened around her, she allowed herself to dream of glories won and challenges met, her soul rejoicing in quiet reflection. Here, in her sacred bedchamber, she was once again reminded of her true gifts, not just as a queen, but as a woman intertwined with the very fabric of life itself. In the sacred stillness of the night, I find the whispers of the universe wrapping around me like a soft cloak, each secret beckoning to be heard. As I sit in my chamber, shadows dance upon the walls, caressed by the silvery moonlight filtering through the delicate curtains. These shadows illuminate moments of introspection that I rarely allow myself to embrace fully. Thoughts emerge, each one as light and ephemeral as a feather, drifting softly through the air, anchoring my spirit in the labyrinthine corridors of my emotions. With every heartbeat, I can feel the solitude of the night deepening, its richness weaving a tapestry of dreams around me. I reflect on the strength I have garnered through the sacred solitude of this night, a treasured ritual that offers me more than respite from the rules and obligations I bear. In this sanctuary of calm, resilience blooms. As I relinquish the burdens of the day, the promise of rest glimmers like stars in the vast expanse above. With each rhythmic rise and fall of my breath, I am gently carried further into a space where dreams blossom into allies. I close my eyes and can almost feel the warmth of sunlight filtering through the trees of a distant garden, hear the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, inviting me to surrender to a joyful dance of liberation. Here, in this state of blissful surrender, I come to understand that true power rests not solely in ruling my lands, but in mastering my thoughts, guiding them towards serene acceptance and peace. As I settle into stillness, the world outside fades into a distant echo, while the sanctuary encapsulating me breathes softly alongside my own pulse. I feel the calming pulse of the night, every ripple of breath anchoring me deeper into this realm of love and acceptance. The softness of the room nurtures me as I fully embrace the tranquility that envelops my heart. The tapestry of the night reveals secrets long kept, and in this hallowed moment, I welcome them like old friends. I recall the endless threads of my days, the laughter of my people, the sound of the Nile gently lapping against its banks, and the vibrant life that thrums through Alexandria. Each memory surfaces like a tender caress, blending seamlessly with the fragrant aroma of my cherished oils, wrapping me in their calming embrace. Embracing the quietude, I allow myself to travel through the myriad of emotions that have clung to me, the fears, the struggles, and the heartaches I have faced along my journey as queen. But tonight, I am not just Cleopatra, the ruler of Egypt. I am Cleopatra, a woman intertwined with the very essence of life itself. This moment is a sanctuary, providing me with clarity and perspective, reminding me of my worth beyond the crown I wear. The gentle hum of the whispers and the serene shadows brings forth a wave of gratitude as I acknowledge the peace I now cradle, the stillness within that resonates deeply with my soul. In the cocoon of this sacred night, my thoughts become softer, more deliberate. As I exhale slowly, I feel myself shedding the tension of the day, allowing each breath to carry away the remnants of my worries, like ripples dissipating into the vastness of a tranquil sea. As the hours drift by, I find solace in the comforting embrace of my linen sheets. The cool fabric against my skin contrasts marvelously with the warmth I carry within my heart. I nestle deeper into the bed, feeling it cradle me gently, and in this sacred cocoon, I surrender to introspection, letting thought serve as with lovely comfort, I reflect upon the strength I cultivate here, cradled by this space filled with fragrant emotions and echoes of my journey. Each breath draws me deeper into the lightness of this moment, each heartbeat reminding me of what it means to exist fully. I recognize now that every night I immerse in this serenity allows me to connect with my greater purpose, a powerful force to lead with wisdom, love, and understanding. As the moon continues its ascent across the sky, I find myself drifting closer to the edge of sleep. Thoughts meander through memories, vivid recollections swirling in the darkness. I see vibrant gardens full of life, children playing among the flowers, the jubilant laughter of families intertwined with the pulse of the city. I am reminded of my duty, the demands I embrace not only for myself, but for the people I cherish. In the sacred stillness, I embrace the vibrant hues of this night, the silver light bathing my skin, the warm whispers of jasmine filling my senses, and the calm within my heart. I feel as if I am floating, cradled by the universe, caught between dreams and reality. With each tick of the clock, I honor the peace that envelops me, reflecting on the journey I've taken thus far, and my heart's desires that lie ahead. Here, I listen closely to the rhythms of nature, allowing the tranquil lullaby to wash over me like the gentle waves of the Nile. Each note invites me to dance lightly, to feel the softness of existence wrapping around my spirit. And so, as I finally release to the gentle pull of sleep, I embrace the dreams waiting to cradle me, stories rich with color, textures that delight my senses, a world woven together with love and hope. I close my eyes, allowing the breath of the night to nurture my restless soul, guiding me into the tapestry of dreams woven by the universe. Here, I am tender, beloved, and truly free. As Cleopatra lay wrapped in tranquility, the cascading essence of night enfolded her like a warm, gentle embrace. The palace around her stood quiet, its opulent decor echoing the rich history of her lineage. She recognized that the reflections from her cycle of rituals were the wellspring of her strength, whispering secrets of resilience and patience. In this moment she became not merely a ruler of Egypt, but a sovereign over her own heart and mind, dismissing the clamor of the outside world with the silence that enveloped her sanctuary. With each flickering moment as the stars outside shone bright above, she began to truly understand the power of her revered rituals, each one a thread woven into the fabric of calmness that draped over her spirit like the finest silks of her royal attire. They were acts of quiet rebellion against the chaos of life, fostering serenity amidst the storm.